This HD thing, this camera's off the chain. Ugh, my glass is dirty to the motherfucker. I guess today is just quickly about notes, man. I'm trying out this new camera and whatnot. So, got little things on my mind that I like to talk about, like the here it go. Shout out to the Cubs, man. You know, they did what they had to do. We got further than we ever expected with a young group of kids, with a young general manager. So for that alone, man, I'm happy. Congrats, salute to y'all. I'm looking forward to next year, man. I can't wait. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm talking about these fair weather friends or these fair weather fans. Why is it that when your team don't win, you throw on a new hat, right? I come from the old school. I'm an old guy, man. So I come from, you know, if my team ain't in the playoffs and the team on the other side that I won't mention is in the playoffs, I still don't care. I throw a brick at them cats. But what I will not do is root for another team to beat them. Case in point, Sox win the World Series. I'm working on Lake and LaSalle, right where the celebration was. Truth be told, I'm on the top floor of the building. I told everybody in the office I'm ready to throw some eggs down there. Why? Because I'm not a Sox fan. Now, I'm not going to disrespect the Sox, but I will say this. I'm not a Sox fan, right? So I stuck with my guns. I didn't go and root for the opposite opposing team. No. I watched the World Series, yes. Did I root for the opposing team? No. Why? Because I'm a Cubs fan. It don't mean nothing to me. My season is over. So now that the Cubs made it into the fall, Sox fans on the South Side, have some respect. Don't be like that. Don't throw on the Blue Jays hat. Don't throw on the Mets hat. Don't do all that crazy stuff because you salty that your team is not in the playoffs. Y'all act like the little brother. Why did he get it and I didn't get it? You the type of little brother that will root for the dude that your big brother is fighting just because you can't beat your big brother up. Ain't that a bitch? Secondly, let's talk about Lamar Odom. Shout out to Lamar Odom, one of my favorite left-handed players in the NBA. I fucks with dude heavy, right? You know, it's not a lot of NBA players that are left-handed. So for one to come in the league and not only come in the league and play hard, but to win championships, that's a big thing. Well, I guess my question is this. Why is it that Lamar Odom is in the news every single day about his drug addiction? Now, don't get me wrong. We all know firsthand about drug addiction. If you ain't doing it, your auntie is, or somebody that you know. I'm sure some of y'all got your TV stole out there. I ain't the only one. Point is, at the end of the day, Lamar Odom is no different than anybody else. Yeah, he's a superstar. He got a couple million, $75 million in his pocket. But at the end of the day, he is just as vulnerable as you are when it comes to drugs. So for that reason, I think we should leave Lamar Odom alone. But here's my question for y'all. Why is Lamar Odom on TMZ every single day about his addiction, about his dad trying to visit him? But Jared from Subway seems not to show up in the news anymore. Didn't he molest like 10 kids? We put Michael Jackson in the grave for the same thing. And Jared probably somewhere over in Panama right now doing something that we know he ain't supposed to be doing. Why? Because we're not interested in him. All right, police brutality, man. I'm not one for it. You've seen Ferguson, Trayvon Martin, you name it, we got it, right? So now the new thing is South Carolina. Little girl in class, not being disruptive. She ain't jumping on the tables or nothing. She's just sitting there. Obviously, the teacher asked her to leave, she wouldn't. Obviously, the police officer said leave, she wouldn't. Now here lies the problem. When do we start to realize that our children who may be being disruptive are looked at as criminals? Now don't get me wrong, there are some kids out there that need their ass whooped. Some of these kids slamming and body slamming teachers and all that other stuff. We had guys like that in our school, but we had big teachers that didn't go for all of that stuff. Shout out to Mr. Kurt. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. I don't feel like law enforcement should be in our public schools. Why? Because they're trained to look for criminals, not children sneaking chocolate milks out the lunchroom, not the shorty stealing answers off the test, not the little boy in the back of the class cracking jokes and heating the teacher and he don't like it so he want him out the class. We talking about children here. Now, I get disruption. I get you want her removed from your class. The moment that they come and slam the little girl on the ground, it's not being a cop anymore, is it? Now, shout out to all my good friends that are police officers, because they out there, right? There are some good police officers that are out there doing their job to the best of their ability and trying to use force as the last resort. When do we start to filter those guys out? They might as well be throwing up gang signs and wearing do-rags. But they don't, because they don't have to. Because our view of gangs is different than what they look like. If you're abiding by the law, if you're not doing anything that's hindering anybody's life, there's no reason to put their hands on you. We have to grow up together. Because if we don't, we're gonna allow the government and its officials to run us. Kind of reminds me of those situations where, somebody's house gets robbed in your neighborhood and you don't say nothing. You seen little Johnny running out the back door with the flat screen. You ain't gonna say nothing, right? But 2 weeks later, when little Johnny robbed you, you worried about everybody else and why they didn't say nothing to him then. The problem is there is no unification in us. People, period. I ain't talking black and white. I'm talking about people, period. There is no unification. If it happens to him and not me, good luck to me, right? Because it ain't my problem. But when it does happen to you, it's like the boy that cried wolf, right? You can't ask for help when you played the help before. Donald Trump, baby. I gotta tell y'all a quick story. So your boy walks into a restaurant the other day, right? Television is on, showing the Republican Party and Donald Trump and his latest antics. The gentleman that's sitting next to me says, Donald Trump will never win. It's so funny that he would even try. I had to say to him, sir, it's a media ploy. Don't you guys understand that Donald Trump is only a ploy to get you guys to watch the Republican Party? Name the delegates for the Democratic Party right now. Go. I bet you didn't even name all 3. But I bet you that you guys can name off all of the Republican Party that are registered to be elected for president in the next couple of months. It's bigger than this Donald Trump being on TV. It's more for bringing the light to the Republican Party. Shout out to Canon 70D. Shout out to Rode Mics. This camera's off the chain. I need to shave my beard.